In the previous video, you have fixed the issue where the character was not facing the direction in which it is running, so that is now implemented. However, the issue was that it was always playing the idle animation. In this video, however, you're going to have a look at how to wire up the animation blueprint so that it dynamically changes the animation that is playing based on a state such as, is the character running, is it standing still? So you will be able to dynamically switch between the running animation whenever the character is moving and the idle animation whenever it's not moving. Let's get into it. So the first thing that we will need for this is called an animation source. So I want you to navigate to our blueprints folder where we have the BP Night and right click, go to PaperZD because this is a plugin action, and add animation source. Call it AS_night. So we know that it's related to our night blueprint, and open it. All you have to do here in the left-hand side menu is click add new animation sequence, call it run. You're going to do run first. And then on the right-hand side, in the animation data, you're going to choose the flipbook, which includes the running animation. You don't really have to worry about the scale over here. Just zoom out if you want to see it, the whole thing, but you don't need to worry about it at the moment. And let's also add the idle. So again, add new idle, enter. And if you click on it and go to the animation data, add the other flipbook, which is related to the idle animation. You can click save. And this is literally all that you need to worry about in this particular file. So you can totally close it. Go back to our blueprint folder, which now includes the animation sequences folder with the sequences that we have just defined. And I want you to right click, go back to PaperZD and do animation AnimBP, PaperZD AnimBP. When you click it, this pop-up is going to show up, which is going to prompt you to pick parent animation source, which is the one that we have literally just created. So AS Night. And here you name it ABP, as in animation blueprint night. When you open it, you have an event graph that's sort of similar to what you saw in the blueprint, but we will not need that. What we need is the other tab, which is the animation graph. Here, I want you to drag from the result and type in state, add new state machine, which we can call something like locomotion, and you can open that by double clicking on it. All you find here is this out pin, which essentially defines what's going to be the animation that plays when our state machine gets initiated. So drag from there, select animation state, select it, press F2, or in the upper right corner you can change the name manually, and name it idle, because that's going to be the default animation that we want to be interested in playing. Double click idle. And here you see sort of a similar thing that we saw just a few seconds ago, but this time from result, we're going to type in idle, and it's going to give us the only option play idle, which is going to be playing the animation, the idle animation that we have provided as part of the animation source. That's what we have to do here. Go back to locomotion, and from idle, I want you to drag another arrow and add another animation state. This time I want you to name it run. Double click it, and from the result, type in run, play run. And again, that's all we need to do here. And if we go back to locomotion then, what we're saying here is that initially when the state machine gets initiated, we're going to start playing the idle animation, and then based on some condition, we're going to play the run animation. And the condition here is going to be that the player is going to start moving around. But we also want to say that there needs to be a transition back into the idle state from the run state, which is going to be when the player stops running. So let's now modify these conditions. Just double click the arrows from idle to run. And here we're going to do something somewhat similar to what we did to our blueprint night, where we need to get the velocity. But this time we have to get the owning actor. So get owning actor, which is going to be the player character. And from here, we're going to say get velocity. This is somewhat similar to what we had before. And here we're going to get the vector length. And we're going to see if the vector length is greater than 0. Sorry, greater than 0. And if yes, that means the character is in motion. And we don't really care which direction. It's just moving somewhere. And that means we want to run the running animation, or we want to play the running animation, to be more specific. So this is the blueprint that you want to get. So here we're saying essentially that when the velocity is greater than 0, you can enter the transition, which is the transition from idle to run. That's all we need to do here. But I want you to grab all these extra nodes that we have added, press Ctrl-C to copy them, because when we return back to locomotion and we go to edit the other rule, which is asking or telling us when to transition from run to idle, we're going to literally do the exact opposite. So again, we're going to get the owning actor, see if the velocity is larger than 0, but this time we're going to sort of flip this return value over by selecting the not Boolean, which essentially just flips the value of whatever we're returning from here. And if that's true, then we can enter this transition. So again, we're checking exactly the same thing. Is the character moving? But this time, if it's moving, then we do not want to do anything. Only when it is not moving, then we flip this and we enter the transition from running to idle. And that's actually all we need to do in the animation blueprint. So I'm just going to save it. And I'm going to go back to our blueprint, the BP night. So again, in the blueprint and the night folders, you want to open the BP night where we have the input actions and everything else set up. And I want you to go to the viewport tab instead this time. And in the viewport tab, in the components menu, I want you to select this time the animation component. And in the PaperZD section, in the animation instance class, I want you to select the ABP night that we have just implemented. If you save and compile and go back to our game, I'm going to press play. So now everything looks kind of the same, but if I start running, you can see that the running animation plays. And when I stop running, we go back to idle. If I run to the other direction, it still works. The character is just flipped, and I stop running and the idle starts playing again. Great job.